In this video, I'm going to do a quick run through on a simple 1040 return. One thing I recommend is on the dashboard where it has application, make sure you're in 1040 training mode. What this is going to do is it's going to allow any returns that you've prepared in the training mode to remain isolated to this area of the software. So that way, after your purchase and you're working in production mode, you're not going to be having to look at fake and erroneous returns that you've done in practice. You'll notice here on the left-hand side, it says Quick Start New Return. You're going to put in your customer's first name and last name and start return. In production, you'll also enter their social on that screen, but in training mode, it does not have that option. This is your main navigation page. You'll notice there's a lot of information on here. I'll be highlighting some of these features and some other tutorials as well, so stay tuned for those. In the middle of the screen, under tax returns and other filings, you'll notice the first link is Begin a New Return, and simply click there to begin entering your client's information. This is going to be just a basic compilation of their basic information, such as their street address, and depending on how quick you get through it, really is dependent upon how quickly you are with data entry. Click Save and Continue. Yes, we're going to file an Illinois return, and no, we do not need any other states. Simple basic information. For this one, this is just going to be a single person with no dependents. Okay, and the training mode automatically populates a dummy social security number, so you don't need to worry about entering that. I'm going to put in a birth date. They're not blind. We're going to say they work in sales. They do not want to contribute $3. And like I said, they're not a dependent of anyone else. The next portion is the identity proofing level. You'll see it has a description next to each of those. I'm just going to select basic. I'm going to put in the ID number. I'm going to say it's a driver's license. It does not expire. It was issued here in Illinois. And it was issued 2017. This area, you can go ahead and enter your client's email address here. The benefit of doing that is there's an area of the software where you can allow your client to have access for items such as printing returns, which again, I'll be doing another video on that, so stay tuned for that information as well. Okay, this is going to come up on every return that you do. For a preparer that's newer or maybe not so sure on the forms that their client has, you might want to choose a guided method. For you advanced preparers, I would guess that you would always want to do a direct entry, so we're going to do the advanced user option here and simply save and continue. The next screen is going to be prompting us for what forms your client potentially has. Again, since we're just doing a very basic return for this one, we're just going to select they have a W-2 and save and continue. Now, no need to worry if your client does have additional forms and you only selected one, you can still add those. So you're not missing out on anything there. I'm going to enter the EIN for this client and save and continue. Just entering the employer information off their W-2. I don't mind these names and addresses. Obviously, they're all fictitious here. Okay, so you'll notice there's a green box on the W-2 page. You'll notice this on some of the forms. What happens when you click it? It's going to change the view. So everyone has different preferences. If you prefer looking at this W-2 screen in this mode, then by all means go ahead and enter your information. Or if you prefer it in more of a form view, you can choose that as well. It's nice having options. Okay, we go ahead and enter their withholdings and their earnings. Pull that number off the top. And save and continue. Okay, for this circumstance, the client did have health care coverage. It was from his employer, so not Marketplace. He was a resident, is not a first-time filer, and does not need the occupational information. Filed last year. Save and continue. Okay, so you can see on this screen here that the client has a refund of $2,027. Gives you a breakdown of all the information that you had entered. Always go ahead and verify, of course, your client's name and social security number and date of birth. This is the main area to where you're going to be signing the return and e-filing the return. So first, go to sign the return. Okay, so for this return, we're going to electronically file the return, and we do not want a third-party designee. Okay, so again, it just gives the breakdown on the return itself. We're going to e-sign, do the 5-digit PIN, and the training mode automatically populates the PIN for the client. And then we're going to do today's date. Will only allow you to put in the current day's date. Okay, signature status not complete for the client, so click there. This portion does need to be completed by your client. It cannot be completed on behalf of them. Okay, so now that shows complete. We have the PIN numbers entered. We'll save and continue. Okay, that portion is done. Now under Enter Refund Payment Details, this is going to be the area to where you have the selection for IRS direct deposit, paper check, or if you are enrolled with and approved by a bank, you will have this option on this screen as well. Since we're in the training mode, obviously it's not populating that bank information, so we're just going to select IRS direct deposit. Okay, we're going to put in the bank routing number for this client. And this very made-up account number that's a checking account. It does give you the ability to split the refund into 3 different bank accounts as well. For this, we're just going with the entire deposit into one bank account. Save and continue. Want you to verify the routing and the account number. Very crucial and very important unless you want to have a really upset client. So that's been verified. And that is complete. So all that's left is completing the state information. For some of you, that may not be something you have to do if you live in a state where you're lucky enough not to have a state tax. The process for the state is exactly the same. If you are enrolled with a bank again and approved, you're going to see those bank options populated in this area here as well. For this, we're just going to go with direct deposit once again. We're going to go with their routing and with that made-up account number. We verified it. Portion's done. Now let's sign that Illinois return. We're going to file electronically as well. Similar process that we just went through. We'll put in their PIN. Okay, AGI from last year. Just making this up. Driver's license number again. Make that up. And putting in today's today's date. Okay, we are done. So you'll notice here at the top corner, it's done with return, and there's a check mark there. This is a screen that's going to be your electronic filing screen. Because this is done in training mode, this is going to look a little bit differently. But in the live production mode, you will have the option of hitting a button to electronically file that return, and it's that simple. Then when you're wanting to check the status of the return, if you go to the navigation page of the client you're looking for, you can simply click the Get e-file status on the right hand side. That's going to tell you the status of your return, or by going to the top and selecting the Preparer tool, this takes you back to your main dashboard. So once you've electronically filed any of your returns, in this area here under status, it's going to tell you whether or not it was accepted or rejected, or in these cases, obviously not sent.